to the UK, Mr. California. What are you doing here?
Yeah, it's good to be back. I live full-time in California now. I've done it 6 years.
Yeah.
So I come back quite often, and I like to time my UK visits with this show. I've been doing this show now for 10 years.
That's extraordinary, isn't it? It just feels like yesterday. And of course, this is where your next phase of your career started, when you met Mike and started messing about with him on stage.
Yeah, it sounds like you've given me someone to blame.
Yeah,
Mr. and Michelle, I think they're equally to blame for my huge life change. Being a British kid growing up here and being given an opportunity to go work overseas and say yes.
Yeah. Well, let's take it right back, because you kind of never planned this, did you? You have fallen well in a number of different ways, and badly sometimes. But your life, you just started messing about with kid cars when you were young.
Yeah, I mean, I was 16 when I got my first kid car, but before that I was messing around with go-karts and soapboxes and toys and such.
Yeah, smashing.
My first ever road car was an MG midget, and then
Did you find it?
Okay.
I did not find
Bridget the Midget.
Bridget the Midget. I did a social media shout out a few years ago to try and find my Vermilion orange rubber bumper, because I was 17, I couldn't afford a nice one, MG midget, and I put the hashtag Bridget the Midget, hoping that I would find my car, and it turns out that there is an adult performer called Bridget the Midget, who is incredibly talented, by the way.
So you did find her in the end.
I can't hold my breath that long.
Well, that's a shame. Maybe we could do that in November. Get training. Anyway, so you started. I mean, you've always done it. You've always been in a workshop. You've always been making stuff, because it's just in your DNA. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as a kid, I was always a bit of a. As a kid, I was always a bit of a car builder, but not just cars. I like to know how stuff works. Typical kind of engineering brain. And yeah, for me, it's about the building of the cars. I'm not really into driving. I do a lot of driving, and I've raced a few cars unsuccessfully.
You crashed a few cars.
I've certainly crashed a few cars. But yeah, my happy place is getting in the workshop and getting grubby hands and working out.
I think a lot of us share that, particularly this show. This show is all about the workshop. When I walk in, the world is outside, and everything is all about this moment. It's a lovely thing.
It's very, very good. We're very, very lucky that this kind of sector exists. Would it help if I sat further away from Danny? Please say yes. No, we're good.
We're good. Okay. So you then you went into the police force. You're also a professional footballer for a while. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's weird. I played over 700 paid games of football over 17 seasons. The highest I played Division 2. Loads of conference level.
Yeah.
Tons of priming leagues. So it's a decent standard. Everybody's paid to be there. Lots of people go on to be professionals, and lots of ex-pros come down. And then yes, I was my first real job was a police officer. I joined the police when I was 18 and a half. Because I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So yes, I was building cars and having fun. It was a brilliant hobby. Joined the police. I only told my parents I joined the police the day before I went to the police training school. But and they supported me and loved it. And I left the police in 2005. It's 6 years.
Right. Okay. You rose through the ranks. You didn't just meet when you were an officer.
Yeah, every police officer, no matter what rank they attain, has to start as a PC.
Yeah.
So like everyone, I started as a police constable with Hertfordshire. Moved a few times, to try and chase work. I was busy in the county, and then when I was 23, I joined the TFU, which is the Tactical Firearms Unit.
Yeah.
I was one of the youngest armed officers in this country. I got 2 commendations for bravery, which I now look back are acts of stupidity.
Tell us about that. I'm interested.
I don't want to tell you.
Okay, fair enough.
One off duty.
Yeah.
As well, one on duty, which was that was the 2005. That was the kind of turning point, and changed my life. And I left the police.
It's actually a bit of a leap of faith in your 20s to live a career to go and start something new.
Yeah, at the time it wasn't a big decision for me. I just had my daughter.
Yeah.
And I was badly injured, and I had that kind of, what do I love? Why do I want to go to work and get stabbed? I love building cars, so I just took a leap and followed my heart, you know, that kind of ridiculous thing. And then, you know, I did that for many, many years. And then in 2012, I got approached by a TV production company to do a TV show in the car space, because by then I'd built a workshop, and I did 3.5 years in a cow shed on my own, which I rented from a farmer in exchange for renovating the cow shed. It had a cow in it, so I said, move the cow in, you know, shoveled the cow dung out and painted the wall, put electrics in, built the door, and I was there for 3.5 years. And then I employed my first member of staff in the cow shed, and he got fed up because there was no toilet, no water, it was freezing. Moved to a proper unit and then built a business. And then by 2012, I was approached for a TV show, and I said no, because the TV show was really crap.
Yeah.
Is it crap?
Yeah, I think so.
Can't make it?
That crap show, isn't it?
And then a year later, I got asked to For the Love of Cars, and that was 2013, so 10 years now.
So what made you say yes to that?
God, that's a really difficult question to answer, actually. I mean, it just felt right. I remember I got asked, in TV everyone's freelance, so no one actually has a job, you move from show to show. So the guy that I met on production for the show I said no to, contacts me a year later and says, oh, you know, we still think you'd be great, can we come see you? We've got this opportunity with Channel 4. And they came up to my workshop then, which was in Chile, in a farm, and you know, spent the day with a camera, and they were like, carry on working, we're just going to follow you, tell us what to do. And then I got a call a week or two later, and he said, hey, we'd like to talk to you, can you come down to London? And I hate going to London. So I got the train down to London, I sat in this production room with 5 or 6 executives from a production company called Love Productions that makes Great British Bake Off.
Yep.
They make, you know, a number of really good shows, and some people from Channel 4, and they say, oh, watch this. And they
I've just got a vision of you as the next Hollywood series.
Next Paul Hollywood.
You could do that.
I cannot cook. Why? Because I'm going great.
I bet you cooking is everybody else. You just stand there and look.
Stand there and get everyone cooking. Actually, if there is a role out there where I get to eat, so I'm down. And they played this little 2-minute sizzle and said, look, you know, we think you're really good on TV, do you want to... And they passed me a contract and said, you need to go get an agent, but can you let us know by Friday? So I didn't even know, I said, yeah, I'll do it. And yeah, I did it, and that was 10 years ago, and now 24 shows later.
So, yeah, now, that first series when you were learning the skills, I loved Cars. And you and Phil, quite a thing, it was good.
Although we didn't have a thing to start with.
Oh, no.
I mean, it was really awkward. We did a bit of a scrap, yeah, and obviously that's all behind the camera, but you know, that moment where we really butted heads, and I know more now why, and you know, we were brought together by Love Productions. Richard McCarroll, who was the boss of Love at the time, was like, guys, you need to either get on or we're going to recast. And you know, they actually had a conversation about putting the cars back to how we got them, so that we could, it was pretty bad. I mean, Phil and I, we got put in a restaurant together, and we got incredibly drunk and realised that we actually liked each other. And yeah, I mean, funny enough, I text Phil last night.
Great, that's really good to know.
Yeah, oh my gosh, we're great friends, and he's a sensational fellow. I mean, an amazing actor. Yeah, I'm really incredibly proud of that series. There's something really charming about it. And you know, I got an opportunity to restore the cars properly, which was really important for me. And we chose really cool cars, and Phil was the perfect person for that role, because, you know, I think everybody here probably agrees with him. He's such a great dude.
Yeah.
And you know, he represents you fitting in this crowd because of who he is.
Yeah. So during that process, then, obviously, you know your skills when you're working with particularly bodywork. But during that first series, was there a moment when you just thought, actually, yeah, you know what, I can do this. This is something I might want to do.
You mean the TV bit?
The TV bit, yeah. Because you've got, let's be honest, right? The way you look and the way you are, you've got TV personality written all over you, in a good way. Right? It is very complimentary. So when did you realise that?
I guess I've done, so Channel 4, and it's weird because there's this kind of, especially back then, this unwritten rivalry between networks. You know, if you're an ITV person, you'll never be seen on Channel 4, and you know, that, I think that did exist back then. Well, now, I think, you know, that multi-platform sharing is actually quite good for networks. So I've been on TV for about 2 or 3 years, and then I started to do stuff for the BBC.
Yeah.
And BBC and Channel 4 are supposed to be kind of rival networks, I guess. And I did a show called The World's Most Expensive Cars, which was the first ever co-production between Channel 4 and BBC. So we made the same show for Channel 4 domestically, that was for BBC globally.
Right.
So it was really interesting to sit in the production room with BBC down this side of the table and Channel 4 down this side of the table, both having different agendas. They wanted a different show. So in this show I'm envisioning down the lens, and this show I'm not.
Yeah.
So but we had to film the same show for global territories, but it was the first ever co-pro between BBC and Channel 4.
I remember you at Mini Factory.
Oh, with James May.
Yeah, that was fun.
Actually, I've really got a funny story about that. I did a show called Building Cars Live with Kate Humble from Country Friday and James May, you may have heard of. And it was at the Mini Factory live, and James, at the end of the show, we've done this huge show, at the end of the show, there's these minis coming off the production line every 58 seconds. And James and I have to jump in, whatever the next mini is, and drive off, and that's the end of the show live. And James says to me, I don't want to drive the car off because it's live and I'll probably stall it and I'll look like an idiot. So we're going to scissor, paper, stone, you're going to win, and I'm going to drive the car off. That's what we agreed off camera. So the show's going live, it's running for, you got the people in your ear going, okay, count down 30 seconds, James, and go to the car. And we go to the car, jump in, I jump in and it's a left-hand drive. James revs to make sure he doesn't stall and starts driving, and then I put the handbrake down.
Yes.
I was supposed to pick Kate up and we just left her.
Yeah.
Just drove her. We got away with it.
Oh, that's very good, very good. I want to know about that. I mean, I know you knew Mike from working with him, but that chemistry test you did in your workshop, how was that? I mean, did you have any expectations before they started, or what was going on there?
You hear that word chemistry test a lot on TV, and for those of you who don't realize, I mean, I could pick two people from here randomly and say we're going to make a show, you guys are going to host it, and chances are they could do part of it. Most of you guys can speak and talk and walk, and that's the minimum standards. But whether you guys work on screen, if the chemistry's right, that's the magic in TV, and that's what every network's looking for. And over the years, there's great double acts that have chemistry.
Yeah.
And I was asked about Wheeler Dealers actually for a couple of years.
Right.
And but Mike and I were friends away from TV, and we socialise and we know each other really well, but we'd never been on screen together. So the network said we wanted to conduct this chemistry test. We want to see if it actually would work and translate on screen. So we went down to my workshop in Hertfordshire at Dowsett's, where the Dowsett's is based, and I happened to have a...
And they're still being made there now, is that right?
Still there now, yeah. This is 7 years ago, and I happened to have a Series 2 Land Rover, which we were restoring anyway, so we pulled that in and we filmed the scene. And you knew straight away this is going to work. Because what we feared is that, we're great friends, but on camera we just don't know.
Yeah.
But it worked straight away, and I watched that chemistry test back.
Yes.
And it's really funny. Like, it's really good.
Good.
Like, it's a shame that we did it around a stage Land Rover, because it's really watchable.
Yeah.
So actually I hope they release it, because it's funny, and I was ripping the crap out of Mike and he was giving it back. It was good.
I'm sure it was. I want to know though, I mean, that moment is yes, but then suddenly they say, right, go to America. What happens then?
Yeah, for me, I mean, Wheeler Dealers was already in America. It had actually been there chronologically 2 years, but only 1 season. And, that's a big moment when somebody says to you, move countries, it's a big thing. And, I had, Dowsett's I'd set up years before, and, that was my world, and I was also doing stuff, and I had other offers for TV shows. I was hosting a craft show randomly on Channel 4, and I was doing travel shows for BBC. And I sat in my bedroom with my 2 kids, Emily, Archie, and my first wife, Louise. And my daughter said, I said, look, it's a vote, I'm out. This is the opportunity, we moved to California, which means you guys are going to a different school. And Emily said, you only regret the chances you don't take, we have to go. And then Archie went, I'm with Anna, and Lou was like, I'm outvoted. So, and we moved our life to California in that moment. it was a big deal.
Huge, huge, and of course it had a huge impact on your private life, on how you work as a human. How do you think California has changed you, actually? Because it is a different.
This is like Parkinson now.
No, I know, but it's not just a different way of life. It's a different mindset completely. Isn't it?
I mean, obviously in my private life, I've gone through some big lows.
Yeah.
And that has been lived in California, just at the nature of that's where I'm based. And some exceptional highs. And I don't regret a single moment. It's been such a monumental life shift for me. And I look back. Somebody said it to me the other day. That's I'm going through a buying another house, right? So my loan person, mortgage guy in the UK is from like Grimsby. But he lives in California. His name's Simon. So he's proper gnarly, right? And he just tells me as it is. Is that my best friend's place?
Yes.
Everyone's from Grimsby. I'm sorry. And he's like, we're going through this thing and we're buying this place and this. He's like, he just summarised it for me because you were a policeman in Bishop Stortford, and now you live in California. You're business partners with Jensen Button, and you're dating Rennie Zellweger, and where did it go wrong?
Yeah.
And it takes a minute to look at that path, and while everybody sees the glory bit, the lows are really low.
From the outside, it does look like you've lived the boys' own life. I'm a little bit jealous, but not.
Yeah,
but so let's move on to what's happening right now, because that's really interesting. You always built cars, but now you built a supercar, and it's extraordinary. You've got the Tipo 184, which is a brilliant project, and that was kind of the previous thing which led you on to what you're doing now with Bradford. Talk about how that evolved.
So those of you that don't know, I founded a company called Bradford with Jensen Button, the Formula 1 world champion. Jensen lives full-time in California as well. He's married and American, he has 2 kids. Jensen and I have been friends for years, and we've become incredibly close friends now. But we managed to get hold of this brand called Bradford. It was founded in 1948 by a coach builder from the UK called Howard Bradford. And his first car was a Radford bodied Rolls Royce. And then Bradford over the years worked with big brands, Jaguar, Bentley, very famous for minis. Every member of the Beatles owned a Radford Mini. In fact, Radford worked on the first ever Ford GT40 and patented the hatchback. So really prestigious, iconic British coach building brand. And Jensen and I managed to get hold of the IP, and we spent a few years protecting it and gathering information. And then I just finished a show, Master Mechanic, where I built the Alpha 158 replica, which was the first car to win a Formula 1 race in 1950. And the network was saying, well, what's season 2 Master Mechanic look like? And I was working with Lotus secretly on something else, and I knew Lotus at that stage, probably a year before anyone else, were going to go electric. So that meant they were going to can the Elise Exige Aurora platform. So I said to Lotus, look, before you get rid of the factory, can I build a historic Lotus on your modern Elise Exige Aurora platform and make season 2 Master Mechanic? And they said yes. So starting to build it, and I wanted to originally build it in Spree because it's a James Bond car. Why wouldn't you? Yeah. And actually then moved into Europa, and I'm in the middle of this project, and I'm saying to Jensen, like, are you driving still? And he just finished racing for Honda, and I had a friend, a lawyer, Roger, and I was like, guys, this is kind of, the stars have aligned here. So I phoned Lotus up and said, can I make more than one? And they said yes. So that's how Radford was born, and it was incredibly quick. They say it takes 5 years and $1 billion to launch a supercar company. We didn't have $1 billion. You'll be surprised sitting here at the NEC.
How long was it, inception to first car?
I mean, 6 months.
Amazing.
Yeah, and now Radford's become a big, it's a big brand. In fact, we moved into new premises in California, and we've got designers in Germany, South Africa, Thailand, here in the UK, US. It's now it's like well beyond my control now.
What have you started?
I know, and it's become this really big brand, and we're doing really remarkable things at Radford. And if you haven't seen the car, if you just Google Radford Type 62.2, or just put Type 62, you'll see it. It's the lightest supercar available on the market today. We won the supercar award at Goodwood. Bear in mind, we beat Ferrari, McLaren, Lamborghini, Bugatti, Gordon Murray.
Yeah.
I'm like a police officer from Hertfordshire, and we're up against Ferrari and McLaren, and yeah, we won. So I'm super proud of that.
And I love the JPS version because I'm a child of the 70s.
Oh, and then
You own JPS, is that right?
we did. We bought the JPS brand, so that iconic black and gold. Senna's first ever F1 win was in a John Player special. Fittipaldi world champion, Andretti world champion. So again, it's kind of this perfect storm. JPS was available, and we acquired it. So we,
I've never thought I'd ever say to anybody, you own JPS, don't you? That's kind of the most James Bond thing I've ever seen in my life.
pretty freaking cool. It's amazing. It's pretty cool.
So when you're building something like that, I mean, obviously you're involved in the design, you're still involved in the workshops, I bet you can't help yourself. I mean, it must be such a buzz, surely. When you first saw it, for instance, what did you think?
Yeah, with a car like that, so bear in mind, just to give you some context, the Radford supercar is an actual supercar. It's all carbon fibre. Every engine's handmade in Austria. It's a phenomenal piece of kit, and the artistry in it is outrageous. It's so different from restoring Land Rovers in a cowshed in Hertfordshire.
Sure.
So it took a bit of a mind shift for me. We're now dealing with, instead of buying a £100 light for a Land Rover, we're talking about commissioning a carbon fibre tool in a 5-axis mill built by the company that makes SpaceX parts. It's a very, very different mindset. We can talk about that later. So it's a very, very different space. But ultimately, it's the same thing. It still has 4 wheels and steering, brakes, and I think the years and years of building cars has really put me in good stead for that. Because I now know why big OEMs lose control of it. And you see these companies appear and then they disappear. And because of that, I've become like the hated figure internally because I'm like, no, don't do it that way. We don't need 7 people for that. We just need one really good one or one really passionate one. And we've been able to build Radford with effectively 7 people.
Yes, that's extraordinary. So, the moment then, what was the champagne moment so far for Radford? What was the champagne moment when you sat in the car, driven the car? Is there something you can define or pull out of your memory bank?
Well, I mean, this is a bit of life, right? Men have died. You women are way more advanced than us. So the guys, it's the simple stuff. When it became real, like I could touch it, because it exists on the computer screen for so long. When it actually is touchable, and you stood by a car that you thought about for months on a piece of paper, that was the biggest moment. But there was a specific, I got goosebumps, there was a specific moment, we built the car, and we took it to Laguna Seca racetrack during Monterey Car Week. This is one of the most iconic car weeks in the world. Everybody descends to Monterey for Pebble Beach, for the quail, and we'd gone to the racetrack, and the car is stood in the paddock at Laguna Seca, and I'm with Jenson Button, and there was a security guard stood by the track, but there was no one on the track, and I kind of said to the security guard, hey, how long is the track empty for? And he's like, oh, well, that's it, we're not done for the day. So the sun's setting on Laguna Seca. And I was like, can we take the car out? And the security guard literally went, you're Jenson Button, you're Formula 1 world champion. And he just opened the gate. And I looked at Jenson, he looked at me, no words, we climbed in the car that we just built from our brains, put our buckles on, and he hit it hard, and that was the first time I realised we'd not only built a car, but we built a fast car that handles like a dream. Like this thing was, and the cockpit's so small, and Jenson's, and we're great friends, and it was just like, holy, it was amazing.
Yeah. That is a boy's own moment. That's a life dream, sure.
Yeah, it was a big one.
Yeah, massive. So now you're selling them, people are buying them. What next? What's happening next?
So for Radford specifically, we partnered with Lotus on the first car. We've already partnered with a bigger OEM, and I think the car world is going to fall off their chair when they realise, because that specific brand doesn't ever give up that brand easily. Do you know it? Oh, you don't know? Okay, good. So it's a really, really big brand, and I think people are going to sit up and listen. It's not a supercar. It's not even a sports car. So it's incredibly exciting for me. We've been working on that project for almost 2 years now.
Wow.
So we've really learned a lot from building a supercar quickly. And then, we have a full production facility in California now, so we have multiple staff and multiple people, and we're building supercars for some very interesting people, by the way. Our client list is crazy.
I bet. Do you go and see him?
I had a meeting with a client. It's the first time I've ever been padded down before I'm allowed to enter the room.
Excellent work.
I'm like, you're like an arms dealer?
Amazing. So there's some TV work involved in what's coming up as well, is there not?
Yeah, the cool thing about Radford is that first kind of how to build the first Radford we covered in a documentary on Discovery Channel. And then in advance of this second car coming, which will effectively be a third season, we have got a new season landing on April 14th. I think we have maybe a clip, I don't know.
We've got a little clip we can watch?
Maybe not. It's on multiple streaming platforms. I think in the UK it's on Amazon Prime.
Here we go.
Oh, we go. By some sort of bizarre twist of fate, two British cars have landed and found themselves in California at exactly the same time. One builder, one on the trucker. We are all proud Brits. But we're taking such huge amounts of risk doing this that kind of together we're relaunching Radford.
Wow. We are called Radford, in honor of Harold Radford. Iconic British brand. We can use it for inspiration. But what we do from this point forward is going to define our history, our legacy.
Radford and Lotus are collaborating to build a new Lotus.
We are the first British-born company they've worked with. The reality is startups fail at an exceptionally high rate. Ours will be no different.
I'm getting a feeling that you're not on the same page.
No.
We have to change the car.
No, we have to agree if we change the car.
There's a possibility that we could be improving the car by doing this.
This is ridiculous.
I think that we can still improve, and you, Roger, I'm sure aren't going to like it. And that is key for us, that we're able to put a Lotus badge on this car. Let's go and make sure it drives well first. Even if the big package is perfect, you go out again.
Oh my god, it's absolutely moving. I already know that you're smiling underneath that helmet. Radford's alive! That's our goal!
Round of applause for that. I'll tell you what, Ange, look, let's just forget the rest of today, all the interviews, but let's just binge watch the series, can we?
Well, actually, you can binge watch it on the. I think Amazon Prime are dropping all 5 episodes in one go. So, yeah.
That's me sorted tonight, then I'm not going out. And it's a dream come true, and it's absolutely beautiful, and congratulations. Everything all right in the world of you and Renee? How is she? Why isn't she here?
Okay, so this is my girlfriend's incredibly well known, and I always say to interviews, just don't ask me a Renee's Zellweger question.
There you go, you see, that's why she's not here as well, probably I'll get in trouble.
She's actually backstage.
Sorry. And by the way, my last question, you love musical theatre? I didn't know that.
Yeah, oh my god.
Well, you know I used to be on the West End.
Oh my god.
I used to be at West End and West End musicals.
You did?
Yeah, I was in the chorus of Les Mis. And
Oh my god, I've been to Les Mis 9 times.
Yeah, I trained at Mount View Theatre School. I got the Cameron Mackintosh scholarship.
What?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, it kind of makes sense.
Let's go to the back and sing some songs.
Oh yeah, I'm a huge musical theatre fan, by the way, and I tell you, great. I did a job in Napa Valley, Napa's wine country in California, with Luke Evans, and who was obviously a West End performer and became a movie star. But Luke and I were paired together for 3 or 4 days.
Songs from the show
Oh
star.
my God, we were singing and obviously I can't sing, but we were covered if we broke down.
Bizarrely, my final practical at Mount View Theatre School, I played Billy Flynn in Chicago. So we're going to go at the back and do a few songs.
Chicago.
Excellent. Look, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you, and it always is. I don't need any notes because I know we're just going to chat. What a wonderful presence, what a wonderful guy, what a wonderful series. All power to you for relaunching Radford, and congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, Anstead. Right. We're not stopping. We're going to carry on. I think we're going to carry on, aren't we, Mr. Stage Manager? How about that?
No, but I'm saying, look at the. Yeah.